Hi, you're with Peter Carr and Scott Stewart on LTV's The Research Channel. Salesforce always in the market with messages and events. Recently had their big Cloudforce event again in Sydney. Scott, you attended for a couple of days. What were some of the highlights?
Look, it was a very interesting experience to be at Cloudforce. There was 1,300 people and they could really attract a very large crowd.
It's turning into one of those religious revival sort of conferences, isn't it?
Well, I guess you could say the Kool-Aid was flowing, particularly on the cloud. So, you know, they know how to market cloud and they do it very, very well. But I guess...
you know, I'm a little bit cynical. I think, you know, those organisations that kind of lead with cloud, it's kind of, in a lot of ways, marketing and selling to the lowest common denominator. So what, you know, when you say they led with cloud, what are your thoughts?
Look, it's a good observation that you make, because I think they are kind of leading the cloud, but you're sitting there, you get the impression that, you know, they own the cloud, you know, that the cloud is them. And I wonder what will happen when the other vendors, right, can successfully sell to the same message. Okay. So in the message that they sell is very good. So in other words, obviously it goes through why you should do cloud versus traditional. So, okay, you know, it's multi-tenanted, it's pay as you go, it's real time, it's 5 times faster.
These are the same messages we've been hearing for like 3 or 4 years though.
Yeah, that's right, and they're still there. They're bringing in the green IT aspect of it now. 95% more efficient, 64% more energy efficient than, you know, even doing a private cloud. So they're now kind of attacking the private cloud and why you should go with the Salesforce cloud.
So Salesforce's green message, the fact that the data center that they built in the US is actually built to highly efficient carbon and green standards. Is that what they're saying?
I think that's what they're saying, but they're comparing it with an in-house IT or a private cloud that you would build. And right. we know that, you know, Greenpeace put out a report that kind of was quite scathing on the public cloud vendors and their green credentials, so to speak. Yeah. So you wouldn't really want to push the green IT aspect on public cloud very strongly at the moment. And of course, they're also now introducing the social networking, so the chatter. And it was really, there was a lot of chatter about chatter at Cloudforce. It was pretty intense and pretty strong.
And do you think that's because Salesforce is giving the social technology some legitimacy within organisations?
Yes, I think so. I think also that what they're finding is adoption is really quick and easy, and people are warming to it very, very quickly. But, you know, in saying that, there are also other, you know, vendors who are saying this, you know, observing the same results. Yep. So we saw the other day with Microsoft and Link Server, you know, at the Commonwealth Bank, you know, 32,000 people and 60% adoption in 24 hours.
Yeah. So it really comes down to what an organisation is going to use it for too, right? So, you know, you can roll out Salesforce Chatter and you might get organisations chattering, but I'd remain a little bit sceptical about the BI coming out the other end of that at the moment.
Absolutely. Look, if just basically on the Cloudforce experience, right? I thought it was a Cloud 101 type of introduction. And when I spoke with the marketing people about this after the event, you know, I understood they do have a challenge. In other words, they have a very mixed audience. They have, you know, the tiny business size businesses in that audience through to the larger enterprises. So they have a difficulty challenge in sort of how do they market themselves to such a broad audience.
And this is the lowest common denominator challenge that I have. You know, it's kind of, you know, it's a lot like politics where you really need to be able to dumb down the message so that those people who are going to vote for you at all levels can get a grasp, you know, of what you're saying, and that doesn't necessarily encompass all the high-level thinking or, you know, political ideology that you need to understand to, you know, to really make your organisation hum. Yeah,
absolutely, and I think also you know, sitting there listening, you know, it's a case of it's sort of being sold as one size fits all. And really, if you're a CIO and if you've got, you know, 200 applications and you've got 2 or 3 data centers or more, just to pick some numbers, you know, by adopting Salesforce, you're not going to reduce your total cost of ownership by 54%.
No way.
And that is one of the selling points that they make, is that, you know, when you do cloud, you know, your total cost of ownership of IT is reduced by 54. But I'm sitting there thinking, well, you know, this is sort of one piece of the whole portfolio. Sure, they've got Force.com and database.com, they've got that.
Well, that's their argument, right? They're going to say, yeah, but the Salesforce.com is just that application layer, and now we're moving into the stack. But you're right. I think it's a thinly veiled promise of cost reduction and ROI at this stage.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt about it. For the right business that doesn't have a lot of IT or a lot of infrastructure, you can adopt it pretty quickly, and you can replace a whole lot of spreadsheets, with their technology, with coding on Force.com. But I guess, it can't be seen as one size fits all. I think when you get into a larger organisation, particularly sort of financial services, you're not going to see those benefits by just adopting, Salesforce as a CRM, and it's going to also be very difficult to sort of deal with all the other systems that you've got in place.
Right. Sounds like a CRM pulse coming on.
Sounds like it could be a good idea.
Great. So if you had to wrap up, a couple of points about the conference.
Oh, look, they are very good in marketing the cloud message, and I think for some organisations, they are a good solution. They're a good fit for certain applications, but I believe that they have a lot more work to do to develop a value proposition for the CIO of a medium to larger organisation, and really, what are they going to do when cloud is all that cloud message is what we expect and what all the other vendors can provide. Where are they going to fit, and what are they going to do? I think they've got a challenge ahead.
Yeah. So there's still a market there, right, for a lot of organisations who think that cloud is vanilla, and cloud can be and should be delivered like that. But from what we're seeing inside organisations, I'm not sure that that's the future of cloud.
No, I think we need to, it just shows the maturity, I guess, of the cloud market. And I thought going into the conference that we were getting past the hype, saw a bit of hype again, and thought, okay, hype sells product, selling product gives you market share. So I guess why not? But really, to me, it highlighted that really, for CIOs, we really need to do a lot more work, and the market needs to mature quite a bit, substantially more.
Okay.